All right, so we covered how businesses make money, the three prongs of client finance acquisition, the three levels of advertising that create the best version of CFA, how money models work, the four types of offers. Now we begin our ride-along apprenticeship. All right, so we transition to the ride-along. Simple skills are easy to teach. Some skills are complex skills that have many skills bundled within them that take longer to get a big enough sample size to be proficient. So for example, if you're looking at deals, it takes a very long time to see lots of different deals to be able to recognize patterns. It takes a long time to look at lots of different surgical cases of different patients to be able to recognize patterns. And so it's more that the larger meta skill of pattern recognition takes a longer time to learn. And that's typically why people work with an expert for periods of time in order to get that skill set. All right. And so advertising and creating money models are some of those harder skills, in my opinion. It takes time to see those patterns and to know what to look for. And the better you get, the better the student you are. And so there's three steps to teaching as I see it: document, demonstrate, duplicate. I cover this in my leads book. And so a good teacher makes sure that you do all three of these things. You document, you demonstrate, they duplicate, right? They being, well, flip this. I document, I demonstrate, you duplicate. Okay. Now, the problem with me training like this one-to-many is that I can't see you do it, right? So I can only do the first two, right? It'll be up to you to duplicate this. But I will teach you exactly how I learned all these money models so that you can get my first decade of experience in a day and shortcut your path to your goals. All right, so it's me taking, 10 or now 13 years or 14, whatever, and compressing it into a full day. And I'm going to tell you the stories, how I learned them, so that hopefully you can kind of relive to the best way possible as though you were with me. All right. And the reason I felt compared to share these money models is I made a very tactical video with three money models 2 years ago. And the amount of messages that I got from people being like, I made 50 grand from that video. I made 100 grand. I made $1 million on that video. I was like, oh, people get the offer, they get the lead stuff, but they don't understand how to put the money, how to connect that with them making a profit and then being able to scale their advertising through sequencing offers together. That was the thing that I didn't know that people weren't putting together. And I was like, oh, and then that is why I make these. Okay, so think of this as entering my private money models journal. And so each of these stories actually was in a journal of mine that I've kept for, like, whenever I see anything cool, I just write it down. I'm like, oh, I'll save this for later. Like, it's kind of like a magic card or a Pokemon card or a play that you want to pull out at a later time. Like they're basically like scratch off winners. Like they've already been scratched off. You just got to turn them in for money. Like these things work. And my notes were scattered all over the place. And then this book was me consolidating all of them in one place. All right. So the rest of this book and training will be all the tiny tactics I picked up that make leads and offers come together into money models. All right. So each money model will have a visual or doodle. They'll have a description, examples, important points, summary. And then this is me making a reminder that if you ever find any out in the wild, you're like, oh, this is totally different and not covered in the book, just email it to me at value@acquisition.com. I will mention you. If it's sweet, I'm going to be honest. Like if you, 9 times out of 10 people are like, this is brand new. I'm like, that's just a free trial. Uh, but, but, but if you do have something novel, I will absolutely blast it and give you all the credit in the world. Cause I want this to be a living thing for Mosey Nation. It's just like this one place that like an encyclopedia of offers. Okay. For everyone who thinks this won't work for my business, want to bet. Every business can use any of these money models I'm about to share. I give so many examples to show you how. So instead of just saying just say, how could I use this for my business? How can I make this work? And you will find the answer. What would it take? All right. So here's my big advertising lawman disclaimer. There are organizations whose sole responsibility is punishing businesses using deceptive practices. You must always observe the law. Law differs by city, state, country, and time period. So at the time of recording this, to my knowledge, the things that we're doing are allowed in the state that I'm currently in the United States today. I am not saying that you should do these. These are hypothetical models to think things through that comply with your local area and time period if it's in the future, which it will be if you're watching this. So I tell stories of how I learned things under the assumption that the business owners I learned them from did their legal diligence. When in doubt, give people their money back and just get better. It's less effort to get another customer than to fix a reputation. So I accept zero responsibility for actions that you take or don't take as a result of this training. Do your own due diligence within the laws of your area and industry and time period. Huzzah! And with that being said, this now begins our ride-along apprenticeship.